We made it.
By the S of our T's.
Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Booked. I am joined by the lovely Andrew Lyall. I hope that I pronounced your surname correctly.
Where's he? The lovely one. Oh, me, yeah.
Are you
Yes,
okay?
you pronounced it perfectly. No, I was looking for the lovely Andrew Lyall.
I thought they were ghosts. I was confused. Yeah, how you doing? Thanks for joining me today.
I'm okay. I'm doing all right, actually. Dr. Theatre's given me a bit of a lift. I'm full of a head cold, but this has energized me a little. So after this, I'm going to crash.
Oh, well, thank you for using your precious energy to be here. Sarah is here and she's excited. I don't know who else will join us today. It's always hit and miss, but Sarah's very reliable. So she's always
if it's just the three of us, that's fine.
That's fine. I'm all right with that. Maybe we should invite her in. So yeah, for the benefit of anybody that doesn't know you already, could you tell us a little bit about your work?
Work. Okay. Yeah,
like
horror.
Books and stuff, not like your day
job. No. God. Yeah, horror fiction, mainly horror fiction. Although of the three titles I've put out, one definitely isn't horror fiction, but I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can chat it through and I can find out what it is.
Okay.
During this, but I'm a horror guy, definitely. Mm-hmm. Always have been. I think it's in my DNA.
Yeah.
Always loved horror. It was always going to be horror that I wrote. So that's a really simple answer to. Thanks for a softball first question.
It's all right. It's all right. Usually people panic and they go, "What do I write? I have no idea." But yeah, no, I mean that I would think of you as a horror writer. So which is it? The Well at the End of the World
is the would be the not horror.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Okay, I haven't read it yet. It's on. I got
definitely.
I have a huge list of books to read.
I can only imagine you just to have a little peek behind the magician's curtain. One of the things you very kindly do when you send an email once this slot is booked months in advance, you ask for if there's anything you'd like me to read, send it. I would have sent that if I was organized, but I'm not organized. And by the time the deadline was creeping closer, I was thinking, this lady is swamped with TBRs. just what you're doing 3 interviews a week now?
Yeah, like a fool, like a damn fool. But I have read Toadhead, so it's not like I haven't read anything.
Oh no, I don't expect you to have read any of my. I don't expect anyone to have read any of my stuff. Don't worry about that. But yeah, The Well at the End of the World is the outlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm low key. I adore it. So I'll send you a completely no obligation. I'll send you a PDF of it and you can just read it for fun in your own time without ever having to think, oh, I have to ask him questions about this. I think you'll like it. I like it a lot, but no, it's not horror. It's the weird outlier. Because when I put out my first thing, I really got the bug and just wanted to put something out again. And I had a couple of projects from my old university days. One was a half-finished novel and one was this sort of anthology type novella thing, which was finished. I let my wife read both and said, which one do you think I should work on? Knowing full well that I loved what became The Well at the End of the World and had absolutely no idea how the half-finished novel was going to end. But she chose the wrong one. She every once in a while she'll berate me for not finishing that novel, and I've said it's never going to finish. It's never going to be finished. I've completely all the things I've set up in the first half. I can't remember how they pay off. It's not going to happen.
Oh, fantastic!
So The Well came out relatively quickly after my first release because I just wanted that high again, and because I'm a slow writer, I now have to learn not to just continue to chase that high because I'm not going to have a speedy output.
I mean, sometimes you have to come to terms with things like that, and it's totally okay. And as long as you don't feel unfulfilled if you don't finish certain things, then it doesn't really matter. Although, you know, it would be an easy way to please your wife if you wanted to finish it. I say easy. You could just make all shit up, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could do it. The first half of it was all grand. The thing is, so I started writing that back in my 20s, so 30 years ago.
No,
Um,
stop it.
yeah. And it was a secret London. It was,
Mhm,
the London below London. And since then, I mean, not the most earth-shatteringly original idea to begin with, but
mhm.
then there have been so many more iterations of it. I'm just like, "Nah, no, screw this." Oh, can I swear on this channel, or shall I?
Fuck yeah, you can.
Right, I said, "Fuck this. I'm not finishing it." And that
Legend.
wasn't horror either. That was
Mm.
so I don't know where I've got the nerve to call myself a horror writer.
Well, I mean, out of the three that we have on the screen here, at least two of them, you're in the majority of horror. So,
Oh, mate, the short story collection is 17. It's like a chocolate selection box of horror. All
oh,
sorts of horror in
fantastic.
there for and Toadhead is just a down and dirty. That's more of a things going wrong in the woodshed, rusty tools kind of horror.
I loved it, honestly. And also, Sarah, this did make me laugh, was the tech issue a toad on someone's head.
Who knows?
That would have been easier, honestly.
Is the toad on your head or is it in your head?
We've had a couple more people join us. So we have, I think it's Blake. I'm pretty sure Blake is
Oh,
always the
Blake.
one that is behind the DVS Twitter page. And we also
Hmm.
have Corvina. Thank you so much for joining today.
Oh, bless you guys. Welcome.
And Ellen Holmes, a legend of the show.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's so nice to see people join. It makes me so happy. Thank you for spending your time with us. So okay, I remember reading Toadhead before it was published.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, this is just it's absolutely up my street. I love shit like that. I love twisty turny. I like it to be disgusting. I
Mm.
love seeing people just absolutely lose their minds. And you did it so well.
Oh,
You
well,
did it
thank you very
so
much.
well. I was like, because I had just sort of really gotten into writing my own work, and I read this and I was like, why am I bothering? It's one of those like, well, I can't compete with that. So why am I doing this exactly? It's
I get
incredible.
that feeling every time I read someone else's stuff.
It's weird, isn't it?
Or it is weird. I'll tell you why I think it is.
Go on.
And I don't think it's because I'm a particularly magnificent writer or better than anyone else.
Mhm.
I think it's a falsehood. Um, I get used to my own sort of authorial voice, not to
Mhm.
sound all poncy, but I have a cadence and I get used to
Mhm.
it. And so I read someone else's, and if someone else's sings and zips, or they do things that it
Mhm.
doesn't occur to me to do, it just reads fresh and new and exciting
Yeah, that's a good
because
point.
I get my is in my
Mhm.
head all the time. So it doesn't read that zippy and fresh
Mm.
to me. So other people's writing really does feel new and exciting and better. And a lot of the times it is just better than my stuff. Or I just think, I would never have gone there. I would never have thought that.
Mhm.
But because I've seen under the bonnet of Toadhead, for example,
Mhm.
or 17 Stories of Death and Desire, I can take you through each one of those 17 short stories,
Mhm.
and I can tell you exactly where and how I missed the mark. I can show you all the mistakes, um, but no, but no one's really interested in that because that's just me and my personal
Mm.
paranoia. And if I read your stuff or the stuff of any of the esteemed people who is here, Hypochondria of Sarah's, I read recently on her
Mhm.
Substack, I'll read that and go, oh, I would never have thought to do that. I would never have gone there.
Mhm.
I'd have never used that turn of phrase. And it just reads better because of
Mm.
that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it's fantastic personal development. Um, but I mean, how do you? So you said that you can talk through all of the things that you wish you'd have done or
Yeah.
you would like to change. How do you get to the point where, or maybe you don't, where you've published something and you know that there are things you wish you could change, and do you draw yourself a line and say, well, it's done now, or do you think you'll ever go back and tweak those things? Like how does that work in your brain?
Um, Putting out a short story anthology was a pretty good fast track to that. I would
Okay.
I would suggest because there's 17 stories there, and so like I said, I could take you through each one of them, and you have the platonic ideal of what you want to do with the story in your mind, and you
Mhm.
slowly chip away at it. And the sort of sculpture you carve out either looks incredibly close to what you had in your mind or not at all. And sometimes through happy accidents, something new can come out. So,
Mm.
but then what happens is you have your little favorites. They're not like your children. You do have your favorites. Uh, and the ones you don't like, that were the ones that you would perhaps consider putting up for adoption, for example. Someone someone will say that that's their favorite story.
Mhm.
And someone's favorite story is always something different. There's
Mm.
no consensus. So that was a real fast track to learning. Okay, if I'm happy enough to put it out and put my name to it,
Mm.
that's the point where I have to be hands off, and it doesn't really belong to me anymore. An awful lot of the stories in the collection, though, were things that had appeared previously in other things. Some of
Mm.
them are original to the collection. So I
Mm.
did tweak and tidy up some of them to put them in the collection. But after that, once you've hit publish, it's absolutely hands off for me,
Mm.
which is another reason why I'm quite slow. There are other people in sort of in our sphere who rework and put rework a title and put it back out,
Mm.
which I think is extremely brave. I wouldn't have
Yes.
the
Mm.
sort of the chutzpah to do that at all.
Mm.
So I'm very much tortoise and not hare. And I know that there are some other people sort of in this arena who really are hares, who really are
Mhm.
like genuinely working on 5 different
Mhm.
things, and they will put out 3 novels in the year, or they've got plans to do it, and I've got no doubt that they will achieve that. It is incomprehensible to me, that kind of work ethic. I can't do that. I very much creep my way towards the finish line and discover how these things play out as I go. I didn't know the major revelation of Toadhead
Mhm.
was the last thing I was pretty much the last thing I wrote,
Mm.
and it tied everything together,
Mm.
and I didn't have it in my mind at all.
Interesting.
Absolutely not. And as I was writing the scene,
Mm.
I said, well, I was about halfway through it. I said to my wife, I've got this, I've got this image that I want to put in Toadhead, and
Mm.
it's of the guy, and he's in his bath, and the toad's on his head, Natch,
Mm.
and his nose is just above the waterline, and he slowly sinks under the water. He stretches down in the bath until
Mm.
it's just the toad above the waterline, like the top of his head is a lily pad, and it's breathing for both of them. Uh, to which she said, "How's that going to work then?" And I said, I don't know, but
Uh,
that's the picture I've got, and I want to write that scene." When I
mm.
was eventually writing that scene, just a little connection was made in my brain, and I went, "Oh, this ties everything together, and it's going to look like
Very
I had
cool.
planned all of this shit from the start, and I absolutely haven't. It's all lies. It's all lies."
They're very good lies, which is the mark of a good fiction writer, is if you're a very good liar. Um, I totally agree. Books are like Pokemon, or stories are like Pokemon. I prefer the weird ones. Um,
I adore the weird ones.
and they're my favorite because I feel like they're more ballsy in a way and more brave if people just like let go and just do like the weirdest possible thing they can. I don't mean like shoehorning the weirdness in and doing it for
No,
the sake of
no,
it, but
no.
when people are like, oh, I hate this phrase, I'm going to say it and it's going to make me feel disgusting. When people are authentically themselves and they don't try and dress themselves up as something else and their storytelling up as something else, those are my favorite.
I call them vibe stories.
Oh, love that. Yeah.
Um, uh, we also at home we have, so Hannah, my wife, likes stories
Hmm.
in whatever medium that have an ending.
Hmm.
She doesn't like stuff where it's left up to you or ambiguous, and I adore that kind of stuff.
Oh, me
So
too.
we have
Yeah.
a saying at home that so if I'm working on a story, does it have a Hannah ending or does it have an anti-Hannah ending?
Oh,
And I love the anti-Hannah ending stuff. She
yeah.
can't stand it. But one of the stories in 17 stories is called Octopus, and
Mhm.
it is a vibe story. It's vibes all the way through. It's one of the weirder out there ones, but I love it so much. That's why I put the octopus on the freaking cover.
I
I
love the cover.
Well,
It's
thank you. I think I need to I think I've reached my Canva cover limits, and I think I need to start, using the services of cover artists. Plus I just fall in love with an idea and stick with it. I had the idea for the Toadhead cover in my mind for
Mm,
ages, and I just stuck with it and thinking this will get them. This will jump out. People are going to go, what the fuck is this? And that hasn't happened. It's just me falling in love with an idea. The idea for 17 Stories of Death and Desire is that the final story takes place in the tower block that was my first year student union accommodation,
hmm,
and it was 17 floors high. So
mm.
that final story, see how cute this is, see how much I fall in love
That
with my own
is
ideas.
very
It's called
cutesy.
17 Stories, Storeys, of Death and Desire. And
I see.
uh,
Wordplay. I love it.
yes, love a pun. But there were times during the compilation of it where I was thinking, well, it doesn't really matter in real life that this building had 17 floors. Maybe because 17 separate stories is a big fucking ask. Why are you building a Rodney back? Why not call it? Why couldn't the building be 13 stories high or 12 stories high? So there was a period where I was playing around
Mm,
with, do I just cut myself some slack, or do I stick with what I wanted to do, just because I've just fallen in love with an idea so early on that it becomes sort of intransigent. That's
mm,
something I really need to get out of my own way about, I think. And the covers come into play as well. I just fall in love with a concept, and I think I just start needing to let people who are better at it than me do that
mm.
part of it.
I think, yeah, it's a difficult one because it's expensive, but then, or it can be expensive. I know that there are, more affordable options for doing cover art, but it does make all the difference.
Mm,
Or grab people. There are books out there that absolutely the cover will sell the book first, and then
yeah,
people are like, oh, actually, this is quite good, or the other way around. I'm just
big
gonna
time, big time. And you've
quickly.
had authors on here who very refreshingly
Mhm,
have said that, yeah, it's my cover that sold the book first,
mhm, yeah,
um, which I think is
it's a
really
good
candid
tactic.
of them, but it's true.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good tactic. We have Chris. I can't remember which Chris you are, but hello. Hope you're well. And Adam, I
It's
saw that
Fractal
you were
Chris.
there before. What? Sorry.
Fractal Chris, obviously.
Yes, Fractal Chris. Yeah, I can't remember which Fractal Chris this is. But, hello. Also, hello. Hope you're well. God, there's all sorts of people here today. Sarah came up with cat food's cover, I assume because she fell in love with the idea. I love cat food's cover. It's sick.
If she, I know, but I would love to. Sarah, you can type in here or tell me later. Did you draw the? I really like the cover. It's
Mhm.
as you can tell with Toadhead. I'm quite a fan of sort of lo-fi grabbing imagery, and I really like that. I'd really
Mm.
keen to know if she drew that herself, or if that's something that she sort of grabbed and dropped in and canvaed it like I did.
Yeah, I think I know the answer, but I'm not gonna answer it just in case I'm wrong. But yeah, I think covers are really, really, really important. But I
Yeah.
think as long as you enjoy the process of what you're doing, and you have to think about your goals as a writer,
Uh,
and I mean that like as loose or as tight as you want to make it, depending on whether or not you care about it. Because
yep.
some people, their idea of success is, to make a lot of money. Not going to say that that's impossible, but it's very unlikely. Make a lot of money, or have a lot of people read their
Yes.
book, then people will give them away, which is great if that's what you want to do. If that's what your goal is to get as many
Yes.
people to read it as possible, there
Yeah.
are several different avenues that you can go down. Whether you go onto one of those websites that just gives out things for free, or if you just start doing giveaways or whatever. But if the thing that you love is the process of coming up with that idea and writing that story, and then if people like it, then that's just a bonus. Then you don't have to change anything you're doing. As long as it fits in with your goal and your satisfaction as an artist, that's the important thing. Like the rest of it is just superfluous. It's like whatever. Um, but yeah, I mean, what does
Yeah. I
success
couldn't
look
agree
like for
more.
you?
It's it's a movable feast. I'll be honest
Mm,
with you. Um, I think sort of the self-publishing platform is. I mean, without it, I'd have a few short stories in a couple of places,
mhm,
and that's it. So on one hand, it's this wonderful sort of egalitarian thing that lets you get your
mhm,
stuff out there without any gatekeeping. the other side to that coin means that there's a gazillion things out there because everyone wants to do it because it's a wonderful thing. So, and it's also very humbling.
Mhm.
And with 3 titles out now, I've had to sort of redefine what success is with each one, and it keeps shifting
Mm.
and it keeps morphing, and it'll probably slowly settle down into some really hippy dippy. You know, man, as long as I'm happy with what's out there, and you know, it skews close to my dream and my vision, then I'm happy. And it'll probably end up being something like that. Am I happy
Mm.
with this that's out there? Am
Mhm.
I happy that so case in point, this short story Octopus that I mentioned,
Mhm.
the weird one, the vibe one.
Yeah.
Um, one reviewer has picked that out for particular attention.
Hmm.
Um, but what they said of it was so absolutely everything I wanted to achieve with that
Aw,
story. They picked up on. I was like, that's a fucking success.
that's nice.
That is a copper bottom cast iron success. I will take that.
Mm.
Um, so you're playing with that, and also with the notion that you know if just one person reads this book and loves it,
Mhm.
then I've completely failed. So I'm in constant conversation between those two extremes. I don't
Mhm.
think that will ever stop. I'd love a smash hit. I'd love a smash hit book, and I've seen. I keep wanting to call them colleagues, and I don't think that's
Peers.
right. Um, brothers and sisters in indie
Mhm.
um, achieve that kind of what I would call the next level of success up
Mhm.
from me. Um, but what would I do with that? Would I keep chasing that? Would I want to keep chasing that? Anything that doesn't hit that, is that a failure? That doesn't sound right.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's like everything. You go with the tides. You got to be a bit loosey goosey and take everything as it comes.
You
Am I
definitely do.
do I think these 3 things rock? It's difficult for me to praise myself. I'm not built that way,
Mhm.
but um, I wouldn't put them out there if I didn't think that they weren't
Yeah.
that some people wouldn't really dig them.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's probably a smart move to have moving goalposts or changing goalposts according to, how things are going, because I think if you chase like a one idea of success, especially when it comes to writing, publishing,
Yeah.
storytelling, you're going to always develop new skills as a writer, and you're going to develop new ways of telling stories. You might even find that you genre hop, and you're like, oh, actually, this is, I
Yep.
want to go over here instead. And that means you have to rebuild yourself because people have an
Mhm.
expectation of
Mhm.
you, especially if you're regularly putting stuff out there. So, yeah, it's definitely a smart move to do that. I mean, hypothetically, if Toadhead were to be adapted into a film or television, is there anyone specific you would want to spearhead the production? That's such a specific question. I love that.
Spearhead the production. So
Other than yourself.
behind the camera, Mike Flanagan. I think that'd be fucking great.
Oh yeah.
Um, I don't know. I would kind of. I don't think the writer gets much in the way of um, work or bunts off the back of these things
Mhm.
anyway. So if, for example, Mike Flanagan decided to adapt Toadhead for Netflix, I don't think I'd see very much off the back of that. I think I'd sell the rights lock stock for not very much.
Yeah.
So given that it's not going to be fame and fortune, keep it indie. Why
Mm.
not have someone who I've never heard of adapt it?
Mhm.
I would love some of my stuff to get adapted.
Mhm.
And I have always said, my position has always been, if you're adapting anything of mine, go hog wild, change it. This
Mhm.
notion of fidelity to the text, oh, it's not, it's different to how it was in the book. Good. Because if I want what's in the book, I'll read the book. If I want, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein
Mhm.
is the most recent and biggest example of it. It's not Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Mhm.
It's how Guillermo del Toro has adapted Frankenstein,
Mhm.
and I adore it, and only he could have made that version of
Mm.
Frankenstein. So go nuts. There's
Interesting.
the book, and there'll be the film or the TV series. And
Mm.
what's the point of having a movie be exactly the same as the book? It's part and parcel of this weird notion that some people have that a movie version of any story is the apotheosis of that story. It's not anything until a movie's been made of it, and I reject that completely.
Mm. Yeah, and Sarah, you're right. Sometimes things only work in a book and not on screen. Like don't judge me. I've been reading the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and I fucking love it. I love it. It's so silly and
Mm,
it's ridiculous, and I love it so much. And they're turning it into a TV show, and I wish they wouldn't. Like I've thought about it, and I was like, there are loads of mechanics in this that only
mhm,
my
mhm.
imagination can do.
Yep.
And so I'm like nervous about it because there's this thing I really love, and now something might happen that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then again, you have something like American Psycho, which was supposedly unfilmable, and I know what people mean by that.
Yeah.
If you put what's on the page on the
Mhm.
screen, that film is not getting released.
Mm.
Um, but what they did was they adapted. They took it outside of Patrick Bateman's inner monologue voice and satirized it, but turned it into really mined the really dark comedy that's in there,
Mhm.
and turned it into much more of an outre comedy. American Psycho, the film, is hilarious,
Mhm.
and it gets funnier and funnier on rewatch for me. The book is one of the most repugnant things I've ever read in my entire life. They are completely different versions of the same story, and I'm glad
Interesting.
that they both exist.
Yeah. I remember oh fuck, what's it called? You're not going to know this until I give you some clues.
Mm.
The book that Hellraiser is based on.
Oh, The Hellbound Heart.
Thank you. I was like the Heart of Darkness. I was like, no. It's because I can see the Tethered to Darkness books behind me, and my brain can't process any other style of title today. I don't remember it being anything like the book. I read the book recently, and I was like, that's not what the film was like.
Yeah.
But if you were to make that story exactly as it is, as you say, into a film, nobody would watch that. Well,
No.
I would. But
Well,
like the majority of people wouldn't watch it.
and this is Clive Barker adapting his own
Mhm.
novella, and he's quite rightly realised that storytelling in film medium is different to
Yeah.
prose medium, so he completely changed the characters, some of the characters round, and made
Mhm.
it much more of a fairy tale, wicked stepmother,
Mhm.
princess in the tower type thing, which works fantastically for Hellraiser.
Mhm.
Um, if you want to get into some of the weirder, sexier stuff, go for the Hellbound Heart.
Mhm.
It's all there. It's just as gloopy. It's just differently
It's
gloopy.
very gloopy.
Yeah,
I loved it. I
yeah.
thought I'd read it. And I don't know what fugue state I was in, but I was like, no, I've read that. And then I thought, let me reread it. And I realized that it was the first time I was reading it. And I wish that I'd have read it earlier in my life.
Now, if we're talking about writers that make you think, why do I bother?
Mhm.
Clive Barker is
Yeah.
really close to the top of the mountain. That
Incredible,
guy is
incredible storyteller.
insane.
Yeah.
He's an insane storyteller. And I don't think we give him his props while he's. There's going to be so much hagiography going around after he dies, which
Mhm.
is a day I want to be in the very, very distant future,
Mhm.
as long as he stays happy and healthy.
Mhm.
And I think he should get that kind of love now while he's around.
Yeah. I agree.
He really should. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go off into a daze thinking about just how bloody good he is. Yeah. Why do I bother?
Oh, I love seeing people get excited about the writers that they love. It makes me happy. And it's the thing is that you need to have those writers in your life,
Mm,
whether it be like distantly or people that you know that are close to you, because sometimes the inspiration runs dry. And
yeah.
sometimes you think, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I doing it? Why do I bother? And then you might read somebody's work and then realize either I could do better and then
Mhm.
want to do better, or you might go, wow, this person's inspired me because they are so good at what they do.
Yep.
I want people to feel that way about my work, the way that I feel about that person's work, because
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
there has to be some element of like selfishness when it comes to publishing anything, because if it was all
Yeah.
just for us, we wouldn't put it out there.
Correct.
If it was just for us, it'd be in a diary or journal somewhere, or just stuck in the ether of the internet where nobody could access it.
Yes.
And
No,
there,
the people must have this.
yeah,
The people must read this.
they
My
deserve my
thoughts,
stories.
my glittering prose. It must be in the world. No, you're right though.
Yeah, and I just think like we just all have to admit that. Let's not pretend like we're only happy if like one person likes it, because I do think deep down we desire to be loved and to be recognized for the work that we've put in, and it's okay. That's totally fine. People will do their hair really nice because they want everybody to look at it and say, wow, you did such a good job on your hair. Exactly. Or, I've noticed we've come as twins today. Or, you know, people will create different kinds of art and it doesn't matter what form that's in. I think really deep down, we all, even at the surface for some people, we just want everybody to love it. And you can take the criticism on the chin and you can accept it, or you could not accept it. It's totally up to you and who you are as a person. But I do think people would be largely satisfied as a majority if everybody that read their work really liked it.
Yeah. And that's never going to happen.
No, I know.
Not everyone will like it. And like I said earlier, there will be people who like the stuff that you're sort of about. And I just realized, well, button it. Keep your lip buttoned. There's no point. Take the win. Say thank you. Mean it, and you do mean it. And don't tell them that you think the story that they like the most, you think is the worst or not as good. Who the fuck am I to tell them which story they should like the best?
It's subjective. It's subjective. Like, we all read stories differently, and I think that's what the people that release negative reviews, I'm not talking about anyone in particular at all, because there are fucking tons of them. There are tons of people that are like, oh, that book's shit. It doesn't, I mean, objectively, and I've said this, I think even in the last episode of whatever it was that I was doing, that my brain's gone blank and nothing is making sense anymore. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to reel it back. Objectively, you can look at somebody's, thank you. You can look at somebody's style of writing, or the way that they stitch things together, or the way they present information, and you could say, like, these don't fit the rules of the English language. Okay, you can say, technically speaking, that isn't a good book. But if it comes down to the plot or the storytelling or whatever, then just don't recommend it to anybody. Don't tell people it's good. There's too much of this like negativity, and it doesn't matter if it's indie or trad, whatever it is. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And I love the reviews that are like 1 or 2 stars, but they say, I can see why people like this. It's not for me. I'm not the audience. I love that. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
There's no point in trashing it, saying it's crap, whatever. Just fucking move on. Don't read the entire book as well. It's okay to put a book down if you don't like it. If you put yourself through reading an entire book that you don't like, that's on you, buddy. That's not on the author. Same with food. If the food's disgusting, you know, tell the waiter nicely. Simple thing. Just don't put yourself through the stress of it. There's no point. Life is too short to read a book you don't like.
So do you think a 3-star review is bad?
Not particularly, no.
No, I think a
1 or 2 star, I think is like, okay, you're telling everybody that you don't like this book, but I think contextually, if people were to go and actually read the reviews and you've justified your response or whatever, then people can have an understanding that, okay, that's maybe not going to be for certain types of people. You can then go look at their Goodreads and see what kinds of things they do like. You can do your research if you really want to. I think the star system is fucking ridiculous.
I hate it.
It's ridiculous. So everybody's averaging about the same because so that doesn't fucking mean anything. And then when you look, it's just a way for people to attack each other. Like, there are genuine reviewers. Some of them are watching this right now, and some of them are my friends. And I agree with giving people praise and doing things like that. I think any rating system in anything, I think, is fucking stupid.
It's stupid. Rotten Tomatoesification of the indie press world, and I can't stand Rotten Tomatoes as a score aggregator either.
It's dumb shit.
Yeah, I wish we could get rid of the stars as well. I mean, you would have to have some sort of
structure.
You'd have to have a sort of maybe recommend, wouldn't recommend, unsure. Or just make it that
Yeah.
potentially even that binary would or wouldn't recommend.
Yeah.
And then if you want to find out why, read why, and it can just be a paragraph. It could be a couple of sentences even. That I would love that. Even then, that would just turn into nonsense because everyone would everyone would just have 100% recommend books all the time. It's just it's unworkable.
Yeah, I mean, unless you had some sort of algorithm that was based on the things that you like Netflix do, where you say you like this thing, but you don't like that thing, it stops showing you the things that you probably won't
I
like based on the algorithm. That would
I
probably
don't think
work, but
I don't think we need more algorithms in our life, Seth.
no, we don't. But they're coming, I'm sure.
The
But
algorithms are coming to get you, Barbara.
we are the minority in this, though. There are such a large majority of people who do go to review sites that use them to guide what they would like. And if that works
True.
for you, I love that for you. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it is the marketing tool that some authors use, and it works. It doesn't
Mhm.
work for everybody, but it works, especially if you have a good number of reviews. But that shouldn't be like your only goal of convincing people that your book is worth reading. I don't look at
Yeah.
reviews until after I've read a book because I'm interested to see what people
I
got.
don't either. I agree completely. I won't read I will trawl through reviews of books and films after I've watched it to see if
Yeah,
anyone else. Even then, I do that a lot less now because it's just some people agree with me and some people disagree with me.
yeah.
Who'd have thought?
I know. It's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I could get I'm gonna get off my soapbox because I have such strong feelings about reviews and review sites. I think they're ridiculous. But I do understand their purpose, and I don't think we should necessarily get rid of them. I just don't like
Oh
them.
no, 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 no. I don't want to
Um,
be dictatorial about it. And I have used reviews as leverage to try and promote my own books as well because I don't know how else to promote my own books. I'm not very good at promoting my own books.
well, I was going to ask you about marketing because how on earth do you market something like Toadhead unless you are directly in contact with the sort of people that would like that kind of book? How are you managing that? Because every time I see it pop on my page, oh my god, I sound like my grandma. Um, she calls WhatsApp her website, and that makes me really happy.
Lovely.
um, whenever I see it coming up on like social media
Mm.
feeds and stuff, it makes me really happy that you're talking about it because I want more people to talk about this book because I personally really like it. How do you have a plan? Do you just kind of like go with the flow with marketing? Do you go, oh shit, I should probably talk about my book now? How does that work?
It doesn't work. Is the short answer.
Okay.
I walked away from writing for about 8 years, some time
Hmm.
back, and sort of filled that sort of horror blank with YouTube, and I would talk about.
Hmm.
And I got a YouTube channel, and I talk about horror movies,
Mhm.
and it felt like at least I was still in the conversation. At least I was still
Yeah.
sort of engaging with an imaginary audience,
Hmm.
um, and uh, that filled its own that filled the void somewhat until I
Hmm.
returned back to writing, and I can't now I can't now balance the two. So while I'm writing, the
Hmm.
YouTube channel goes off my radar, and when I'm on YouTube, the writing goes off the radar. And
Hmm.
there there would have been a much more $10 word here, synergistic.
Oh.
To if I could have slowly started weaving in horror fiction talk and stuff like the prose into my channel, I could have sort of slightly more organically grown that as a platform where from which I could promote
Hmm.
um, my books. But I didn't do that because I'm a numpty. Um, so what happens is the YouTube channel tanks while I'm writing, and when I've got something to say about that, I go back on YouTube and no one cares anymore because everything is about constantly. It's the algorithms. If you are constantly making content on YouTube, YouTube will promote it. If you're constantly on Twitter, Twitter might deign to promote you.
Hmm.
Um, if you take some time off, you're fucked.
Hmm.
So I'm I will either have to come up with some sort of marketing approach for the future, or just fucking wing it.
Why not?
I don't know what I don't think I'm ever gonna. I don't think I'm ever gonna sort of bust through to a ceiling where I need to worry about marketing budgets and stuff like that. You see,
Mm.
everyone wants the key to the algorithm, or the key to marketing, or the key to adverts. You'll have people who are going to sell you all sorts of ideas about, oh, if you invest this much money a month on Facebook ads, you're going
Mm.
to eat shit for 3 months. But then after that, trust me, it's like, well, hang on, I don't want to eat any shit. And it sounds like you're selling me a pyramid scheme. There's no secret to it,
Mm.
because if there was a golden, a sort of silver bullet for it, a golden arrow, it would have got out and everyone would be fucking doing it.
Well, I'd like to point out that you mentioned earlier about there being like a gazillion authors out there, and there are over 1 million authors that are registered with Kindle Direct Publishing. At what point does that golden, like non-existent rules of marketing to get your book sold, at what point does that become oversaturated and nobody will see it, and then we're back to square one again? So
Yeah.
something that I've noticed that writers do, and I'm not a fucking expert, okay? I'm not pretending to be. It's just something I've noticed. And I've said this before, that every single book, especially if you're an indie writer who doesn't conform to like the normal structure of things and you don't have predictability and blah, 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 everybody will have to market their books differently.
Yeah.
Your audience is somewhere, and it might not be where you hang out. And you might find, for example, that Facebook is the place to go. You might find that the library is the way to go. You might find that getting into book clubs is the way to go. And there are endless opportunities that people could take advantage of. But it's a hell of a lot of work. It's a huge amount of time, and it's a massive risk. And you know, if you wanted to try every single Facebook group that you could find, or every single social media platform that you could find, it would take a significant amount of time to be able to get yourself into a good position to figure out whether or not that had worked. It will feel like a fruitless effort. So you get people throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to see what sticks.
Yeah.
And they could be potentially ignoring a gold mine of readers, because they're not thinking outside the box, or they're not like, okay, well, I need to find where my audience is. They're just shouting into the void, hoping they're, you know, people will look at it. It's just not sustainable. So again, it depends on your goals. If you don't really care, that
some
doesn't
people
matter.
will grab that with both hands. They'll be super excited at that part of it as well. And I'm sure that there are people out there who put more effort into the marketing than the product, and probably get really good sales for books that are pretty naff. Who knows? There will also be people who write superb books that no one reads. So it does all circle back to what do you want, and how much time and effort do you want to put into it. And I am charitably very middle-aged. And do I really want to do my 9-to-5 job and then commit to another online 9-to-5 job? Someone like Stephen King will say, well, fucking, if you want it, yes. He's very his rules of writing are very regimented, and he would say, absolutely, you need to this is what you need to do if you want it. But what is that it? What does that success look like? And I don't know, I just want to be happy, man. Am I? Not really.
Sometimes just being okay.
I am.
Okay. I was about to check on you separately.
No,
but
I'm fine. I'm
right.
just the Scottish genes in me. I'm doer. I'm a doer person.
Yeah, it's just that it's a mind fuck all the time, in my opinion. It's one of those like, only do all this if you actually want to do it. Sometimes I see people that are like dragging themselves through the mud for the sake of it, and I'm like, what are you trying to achieve? What are you getting from this other than fucking misery all the time? Like when I see people querying for like 10 years, I think, oh God, that doesn't look appealing in any way. But if people,
I take my hats off to them. I just cannot fathom it. I cannot fathom it. Yeah, I understand I understand the appeal. I really get it. I've also come to the realization, says the guy who wrote a novella called Fucking Toadhead, that I don't write to market.
You don't?
No. so it becomes freeing, and this oncoming sort of tsunami of AI produced stuff, it
Mm.
just feels like me, more of a permission slip to get even weirder. Fuck it.
Mm.
So if only X number of people are going to read this, um, just fucking go for it.
Mhm.
Get as weird as you can. So um, I find that quite exciting. If you've made peace with not having HarperCollins on your spine, for example, um, just write some fucking crazy shit that they wouldn't touch with a fucking barge pole.
I like this advice. I support this advice. Do that.
Yeah. I think that's my rewording of your advice to be your authentic self.
Kiss. It sounds much better the way that you put
It
it.
doesn't sound like I'm Californian.
Doesn't sound all wanky, does it? It really um it's I feel like I have the same conversations over and over again. And this isn't this is going somewhere. But I
Okay.
feel like I'm going to continue to have the same conversations about like marketing and just doing what you want to do and repositioning your success and your idea of success and things like that. I don't think that's ever going to go away. I think that's something that largely writers are going to struggle with unless they are really confident in themselves and what they're doing. One thing that I don't think I'm ever gonna not talk about now because Sarah is the Wombles. I was waiting for this.
Okay.
She had the patience to wait this long. She's waited 46 minutes and 41 seconds to ask this. And she's very excited about these two Womble questions. So while you're typing them, Sarah, I'm going to ask you a question that I ask everybody, Andrew.
Okay.
If you could give advice to young Andrew who's just started writing his first ever thing, what advice would you give?
Don't take 8 years off. Don't
Oh,
stop.
interesting. Oh, okay.
I lost so much. I lost so much ground. It was necessary, but and I don't know. But buy Apple shares.
Oh, yeah. I think I'd
That
go
would be my
Bitcoin.
writing advice.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Mm.
Would be I would tie myself up in knots. Oh my God. I would drive myself to the verge of a nervous breakdown trying to make this half-written novel of mine perfect, and it's
Mm.
never going to be perfect. I'm not one of these people that writes, "Oh, just write a scrappy first draft and you can fix it later." I can't do that. I'm still
Really?
slightly too much of a no, can't do it.
Oh,
Can't do it.
fascinating. Okay.
I edit as I go. I'm constantly, sort of
Mm.
looping back. I'll have to read the last 4 or 5 pages of
Mm.
anything before I start again. And while I do that, I'm re-editing it, and then I'm back in the scene and go. And so I know that what I
Yeah.
write after that, I'll be sort of rewriting again afterwards, but it's
Mhm.
constantly goes through. The upside to that is once I've finished what would technically be draft one, it's pretty clean.
Mm.
There's not tons and tons. I know that there are people that will draft up into the teens,
Mhm.
which is absolutely not for me. If that
Mhm.
works for you, go with your own God.
Mhm.
Um, if I was being, if that works, if that has to be your method, it is
Mhm.
your method. If I was on a 13th draft of a book, for me, I would be asking myself, why isn't this good yet?
Yeah, I find that to be a struggle. I do wonder sometimes why that is. Like, what
I
drives that? Is it a skill issue? Is it a confidence issue? Is it a bit of
I
both?
think it might just be I think it might just be confidence.
Mm.
You while you're drafting, you're in your safe space. It's
Mhm.
just you and your work, and that's where I love to be. I kind of don't I like it, but I don't look forward to hitting publish because I like
Mm.
to sit with my things. I like it when there will always be a period where it's just me and it in my head, and then a little bit later, me and it on my laptop, and
Mm.
I will wallow in that feeling for about a week or
Mm.
two. Um, it is done. The great work, the great work is complete. I just like to sit with it before I share it,
Hmm.
and that's just sort of me time.
That's
And I
nice
think
though.
that can become very alluring. So maybe these people, like I say, if that process may work gangbusters for some people, but I do
Mm.
wonder if some of them are sitting on there so they don't have to take the next step. Mind you, if they're querying, the demands on them to rejig and stuff like that
Yeah.
might be huge, or even the
Mm.
perceived pressures on them to do that.
Yeah.
They might make them huge in their own mind. I don't know.
Mm.
It's a different kind of gig. If it's one that I ever get, it will be by accident. It won't be one that I chase.
Mhm.
So someone will have to approach me, and I'll go, "Yeah, that sounds cool." Because, like you say, I can. Fuck me, I hate writing an author's bio if I'm submitting a short story to somewhere. Oh, just write 100 words about yourself. No, that's torture. Having to write like a query submission thing, and then tailoring each one to the needs of each agent and stuff. Oh, fuck off.
I can't do it. I'm not organized enough.
No, I can't. No, I'm not.
Mm.
They need these query trackers, spreadsheets, and stuff like that. I just cannot do it.
Thanks. I'll put a recipe in a spreadsheet. Sometimes I have to organize my thoughts in a spreadsheet, but not for other people.
No,
That's my private spreadsheet between me and Google and
yeah.
the FBI, I assume, because they're always looking at everything. um, yeah. Before I get to Sarah's Womble questions,
Mm,
um, just so that we don't flip flop between conversations. So I'm writing my first novel. I don't even know what genre it is. I'm just going to go with my vision, but some others say authors should write to a specific genre. Do you know what? Write the way you fucking want to.
I will say this: uh, the the reason I don't, from personal experience, don't
Mm.
push or sell or market the well at the end of the world,
Mm-hmm.
is who was that from, Chris?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Chris, is because it doesn't fit any genre. I don't know what it is, so I don't know how to
Mm.
sell it. I low key think that some of the stuff in between those pages is the best stuff I've ever written,
Mm.
and I just now think it's a little. I think of it now as the sort of secret source of. There
Interesting.
will hopefully people will come along who like one thing enough that they'll think, oh, let's try this. Let's
Mm.
see what else he's written, and people will that will cut the when I've got legions of fans, that will
Mm.
cut the wheat from the chaff.
I love that you said when, not if. I appreciate that. But
It's,
no, I mean that was quite an aggressive response from me. But I do truly believe that just enjoy the process of writing. The thing about having a specific genre, as you said, Andrew, it makes it way easier to market it,
yeah,
especially if you put yourself in a category, you're in a silo. So if you are like, okay, so I'm going to write exclusively horror stuff, and all of your marketing revolves around the horror things, just as
yeah,
an example, and then you go off piste and do something else, or you have something else from the past that you want to bring forward, it
yeah.
makes it really hard for people to pay attention to it because they are used to seeing you do one thing, and then if you go out of the comfort zone, you have like the chance that people are going to go, oh, that's new and shiny.
Yeah,
But if you've built a following of readers that expect a certain thing from you, then it's
yeah.
going to make it really challenging. um,
I
mm.
Douglas Adams is one of my favorite writers of all
Oh,
time,
he's fab. He's
and he's slow. That actually, I'm just making connections. Maybe I've drawn all the
Mhm.
wrong lessons from one of my favorite writers. But he would take years. I mean, he would have to be dragged to his laptop
Mm,
to write, to famously to write novels. And I remember when Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency came out, I was
mm,
really upset that it wasn't a Hitchhiker's novel.
mm.
And then I fell in love with Dirk Gently, and then he wrote another Dirk Gently book, and then he released something else, and then I was upset that it wasn't another Dirk Gently. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mm,
You can give people what you think they want. Um, The only reason, Chris, that I say that I'm a horror writer is I just love the genre. I love it. It's where I find most of my joy. So that's what that's where my brain tends to. If I come up with a
mm,
scenario, how can I horrify it? Uh, I just adore that genre, so I'm very comfortable and happy in it. If you're having to squeeze yourself into a genre box because you think that the market dictates that you should or shouldn't do that, you're going to make yourself miserable.
Mhm,
It's just you sat with your laptop for the majority of the time, and if you're
mhm.
not happy while you're doing that, um, oh man, what are you doing? Mind you, I say that I'm not happy when I'm sat writing. I'm happy when I'm editing. I hate writing. I love editing. That's why I
Lovely.
edit as I go along.
Yeah.
It's the little treat you get to. If you write, you can do a little bit of editing, and then you'll have to write some new stuff. But you get to edit that
Mm.
the next day. So here's the carrot, and here's the stick.
I think
But
I
for
do
God's
that.
sake, if it was a case of me having to write something to sort of spec that
Mm,
I wasn't fully on board with, I just wouldn't do it, man.
mm.
And it
Yeah.
would read like crap. So write what you want. Let everyone else work out what it is
Yeah.
afterwards.
This is the thing, and that's something that I've seen when I've done like beta reading or ARC reading for people.
Mm,
Sometimes they'll have a little questionnaire, and it'll say, "What are your comps?" or "What do you think this is like?" or "What genre would you
mm,
would you assume that this is?" What are your favorite lines and things like that. So you can get people to help you do that after you've written the thing as well.
mhm.
So yeah, because I think if you're trying to make it like something or fit into a particular box, you're totally limiting yourself. You have the
Yeah.
opportunity to go totally crazy with it. And if you put those limiters on, then you're kind of restricting the storytelling as well. Um, I will come to your Womble question, Sarah. I promise.
Mm,
Um, so Holmes, I can't stick to one genre. I've written magical realism,
mhm,
literary fiction, fantasy, and I want to write some horror, but I can't wait for you to write horror, Holmes, because
mm.
you're incredible at what you do. And I think there's some horror elements in the Floating Castle that are really gross. I think you're going to be very good at that. Do you know what? Whether or not you would be trad material is up for debate, because I think sometimes it's a skill thing. Sometimes a random thing will be plucked out of the mess of random shit that people produce, and then it becomes the next biggest thing.
Mm.
It may well happen for you, but if you care more about telling the story than fitting into that category, then you're gonna have a better time.
Yeah, and it tells. It'll come
Mhm.
off the page. If you're writing something cynically, I mean, it'll tell.
Mhm.
There are. I mean, I've got to imagine that Stephen King still loves writing,
Mhm.
but I also have to imagine that there's an element to it for him now that's just like putting Lego together.
Yeah.
This is how a sentence goes together. This is how a paragraph goes together. This is how a chapter goes together. Um, which is why he can blast out so much stuff.
Mhm.
And um, the writing is always exemplary, very easy to read.
Mhm.
But the contents, I'm slowly working my way through Nightmares and Dreamscapes at the moment, and
Mhm.
there's a short story in that called The 10 O'Clock People, which is about um, a group of people who go out for their cigarette breaks at 10 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, and it turns out that they've got right around the time the culture was shifting to anti-smoking and you can't
Mhm.
smoke indoors and stuff like that, and it turns out that they've got just enough nicotine in their system that they can see the uh, the bat-faced people who are in our society for what they truly are. It's a lot like John Carpenter's They Live. It's like there's this secret colonies of bat people who look like us, but if you've got just the right amount of nicotine in your system, you can actually see their bat faces and stuff like that.
It's amazing.
I'm reading it thinking, yeah, the writing's good and all, but this, mate, this is not one of your best ideas. This, this isn't this isn't good.
There's some of his work where I just think, oh my god, just get the fuck on with it. Like sometimes I get really sucked into his storytelling,
Uh-huh.
and my imagination goes crazy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really into this. And I read a majority of You Like It Dark, which is the um,
Mm,
short story anthology,
mm.
and the first couple of stories, I thought this is fantastic. I'm really, really
Yeah,
enjoying this because I,
yeah,
I like I like his storytelling, and his imagination is mental. I really
yes,
enjoy that, and I digest it better as short form. And
yeah.
then there's a story in the middle. I don't think I even finished it. That was like half the book, and I thought, "Oh, you cheeky bastard! I was promised short stories, and this is half
It's
the book."
I prefer his short stories to his novels.
Mm,
I think when he's on form, he's one of the best short story writers currently living.
Yeah.
But I think he turns literally every single idea he has into a story of some kind. I don't think he has idea rejections, and
Interesting.
sometimes it shows.
Yeah. That's interesting. I never thought about it like that.
But here's me arguing against the Stephen King point. What kind of point are you trying to make? That approach hasn't worked for him? You fucking idiots.
He's doing all right, isn't he? Uncle Stephen is not worried about us.
No, not at all. And nor should he be. There could be a lesson I take from that to free up and not get in my own way quite so much and be a little bit more prolific. But some of the stories I have are fucking rubbish.
But some of them are excellent. So let's concentrate on those. I don't want to make Sarah wait any longer.
Yeah, let's have these wombles.
Okay, so as a Traitors fan, can a womble ever be a traitor, or are they intrinsically faithful?
Oh, crikey, right.
Just coming right out the gate with a whopper of a question.
Right. Right. So I'm going to question the question, Sarah. I apologize, but intrinsically faithful is not the best starting point to come from when you're talking about the traitors, because everyone who rocks up is in the same boat, and then the traitors get chosen. So there's nothing about, and then you have to decide how you play the game based on what camp you have been put in, and the rules of the game are the same for everyone. So I don't think if you get picked out as a traitor, you're intrinsically a different kind of person than someone who is who is faithful. So I think that the Wombles are upright and decent enough that they would play the game to the rules.
Oh, interesting.
How'd you like them apples?
Oh, those are some crisp apples.
There was a second Wombles question, was there?
There was a second Wombles question. This is slightly more topical with your work. Which Womble is more likely to get a toad stuck on their head?
Tobamori.
Oh, wow. You didn't even have to think about that.
Of course. I wouldn't be at all surprised if there wasn't a lost episode of the Wombles where he takes his hat off and you find out that there's one under there.
I implore anybody that's watching this that's never seen the Wombles before.
Oh, please.
Head over to YouTube and just check them out.
And the Flumps.
And the Flumps! Oh, shit. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I think I need to dive back into, like, the shows of my childhood.
Yeah, be prepared. Bagpuss makes me cry now.
Oh!
It's just so pure and beautiful, and oh my god, why can't we have that world again? I appreciate that it felt like a different world, a nicer world, because I was a kid and I had no problems, and there was a lot of horrific shit going on back then as well.
Yeah.
So, but no, Bagpuss. Can we just have some more Bagpuss and stuff like that?
Do you know what? Petition to bring Bagpuss back, but exactly the way it was.
God, yes, yes.
With no changes.
Yes.
I want that puppetry. I don't want to see any animation. Piss off with the animation.
Made by socialist hippies with weird folk music, all of that, all of it.
The world needs more of that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was another question. I'm sure.
Todamori, by the way, Sarah. Chef's kiss.
Oh, she's good at that. She did say you can be a bad traitor. I've not seen it, so I don't know what that means. I think is it the reality show where people have to lie and shit?
It's the greatest show on earth.
That's bold, man. That's bold.
Watch the UK version. I've not watched the US version, but from the little clips I've seen, it looks like absolute trash. What's the UK one? You can only be a bad traitor if you don't play to the rules. Tom Cruise said of his performance as the vampire Lestat that he's not a villain. He's not a bad vampire. As a vampire, he happens to be exceedingly good at being a vampire. So he's a good vampire. So I'm not sure that We might have to take this offline, Sarah, but I'm not sure what you mean by bad traitor.
She did say somewhere in the chat a little while ago that she would like to talk about movies with you all day. So if you, I know that's not a movie, but feel free to take that offline.
No, I can have that.
So Holmes asked, Andrew, do you prefer to write in the short story format or the novel/novella format?
I believe at the moment that novella is where it's at. I love a weird short story. Don't get me wrong. If I had more ideas, mate, I would probably write more short stories. But I'm not blessed with an overabundance of ideas. I am amazed that I scraped 17 together for that short story collection. It is a form that I would like to return to, but given that my sights are very specifically in the horror genre, I just happen to think that novella length at the moment is, I think it's a really tasty format for that genre, where you can get in, get out, be weird. But I possibly also think that because at the moment I have one idea that would necessitate a novel length thing. If I had loads of novel length ideas, I might be talking about novels.
That's fair enough. Have you got anything that you're working on that we can expect to come out anytime soon? Because
anytime soon, fine. God no.
I'll set my expectations.
I am at what I refer to as the rocks in the tumble dryer phase. I've chucked a bunch of rocks in the tumble dryer, that's the old noggin, and they're crashing into one another to see what chips get knocked off. Also, I'm looking for whatever comes out of that to be the easiest of all the options as well. I really don't want, there's stuff that I've got that will need research, which I'm not against at all. I'm also a fundamentally very lazy man. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not tackling the novel length idea. I am scared of it. So I want to have a run up to it. So maybe a couple more novellas before that. I've completely forgotten the question.
We're going to be waiting a anything coming out soon? Whatever the next thing is. That's fine. I can type myself out.
I've got some vibes. Lovely. So as with Toadhead, where I said, oh, I had an image of a guy in the bath with Toadhead. I've got some images. I've got some things going on. How that all coalesces, and if indeed it does coalesce, time will tell. I'm an extremely vibes based writer, so at the moment I've got maybe half a dozen images, half a scene, and the idea of a through line.
It's not bad going.
That's
pretty good.
That'll do. That's more than I've had.
Good. Well, I'm glad that you're inspired by something. We had Gabriella pop in. I don't know if you're still here. Sorry, it took me a minute to get to you. Hello from Texas, Denmark. What a wonderful multicultural time we're having. It's lovely.
Solidarity with Denmark.
That you froze for a second and it looked a bit violent.
I probably froze because our internet gave solidarity to Denmark, and our internet overlords probably froze me for that.
Probably, yes. Sarah just bought 17 stories.
Bless you. You're going to have to let me know what you think, Sarah, and you're going to have to be brutally honest, because it is like a pick and mix of it. Not everything will be for you, but I'd be really keen to know what you liked, and I'd especially like to know what you didn't like, because no one ever tells you what they don't like, and I'd love to know.
Sarah has recently read a portion of my manuscript for what I'm working on at the moment, and I will say she's very, very good at being constructive and helpful with feedback. Same with Ellen Holmes as well. So I've no doubt that she'll be able to fulfill that. Before we leave today, if you have any questions for Andrew, please pop them in the chat, because now is your chance. It's the last chance, because we're going to start winding this down. Before we leave, is there anything that you want to tell the audience, or anything that we didn't get a chance to talk about that you want to bring up?
No, I'm not selling anything at the moment.
Okay, that's fine. I will put the link for your books in the description of this episode. So if you're watching the replay, oh my God, words are difficult. If you're watching the replay, then you'll be able to look at the description or head over to. Are you just on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Head
I'm
over
on Blue Sky as
Andrew.
well, but I don't ever go there, and I really shouldn't go on Twitter. But
I know. Do you know what? Every day I go, this is the last fucking day I'm doing this.
yeah,
And then I look at all the followers that I've managed to scrape together, and I think, oh, I don't want to have to do that again.
yeah.
I don't want to have to do that again. And that's
What
where my friends are.
I've just thought of something. Well, whilst I'm not selling anything new, if this has been a shop window at all for what I'm potentially like as a podcast guest, if I've been on a couple of podcasts before, not loads. I'm so super psyched to be on this one, by the way, Safi.
Oh, I'm glad you're here.
If anyone wants me on, I don't have to talk about my writing. If you want to flap your gums with me about horror movies and stuff like that, I'll talk till the cows come home.
Excellent. Yes, Andrew is for sale.
I am for sale. Oh yeah,
for sale.
Yeah.
How will they contact you? Carrier pigeon, owls.
It's probably Twitter, isn't it?
Yeah,
it probably is that, or leave a comment beneath any one of my YouTube videos, and I will read it.
Excellent. Okay, there you go. So we haven't had any.
Or I've got a Substack. I guess I've completely forgotten about that.
I'll put the link for that in the description of this as well. So
you can message me through that. I've got so many followers on that since I last posted anything on Substack that I'm now afraid to post anything because I know that as soon as I do, I'm going to lose all of those followers.
Oh, you could just put hello and just oh, sorry, it's taken me so long. I'll be back again in 6 months, maybe.
Well, I just wanted it as a place to gather, as a newsletter thing. So when I've got something to say, I'll send it out. But people seem to be using Substack now, like all these other things, like always on. You always have to be posting something. And I don't have that many ideas. I can't waste them all on Twitter or Substack and that. I have to hoard them like goblin gold because I might one day turn one of them into a unsuccessful novella.
But it's only unsuccessful if you don't meet your own personal goals.
Very true. I actually think I've come pretty close with Toadhead. I'll be honest. I think I came pretty close to the bullseye with that one, considering I was vibing my ass off from start to finish with it.
Well, I love your vibes. If you haven't read Toadhead, if you like dirty horror, it's absolutely the book for you. You will read it and you'll question what's happening and you'll see everything that's going on and you'll feel slightly uncomfortable at many different moments. And towards the end, you'll probably panic like I did. But it was all worth it. If a book makes my heart rate increase, that's a good sign. And you have stressed me out. And
that's lovely to hear.
That's a compliment. If a horror book doesn't stress me out, it's not done its job, in my opinion. We haven't got any other questions in the chat. I really appreciate you coming today, and thank you for coming, even though you felt poorly.
That's my pleasure.
You were such a pleasure to interview, and I hope that you'll come back again in 10 years when you release your next book.
I was going to say, you're not having on for another 10 years?
I'm just saying expectations. No pressure.
That's probably fair. I'll happily come on and yammer without anything to sell.
Excellent. Well, the next time that I have a slot available, we're going to schedule you in. But
cool.
Thank you again. Sarah had so much fun. I hope that everybody else did too. If you're watching the recording, remember you can access the links to all of Andrew's stuff in the description below. Also, I have to start saying this now because I've been told that I need to. It was Sarah's favorite. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on Twitter or Instagram, or if you're listening to it on Spotify, if you have a YouTube account, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The reason behind that is I'm trying to create this thing where people can talk about the books and other people will listen to them and maybe even read the book. So I can't do that if you guys aren't watching. So I appreciate everyone that joined us today. I'm going to speak slightly more slowly as I say goodbye. Goodbye to you, Andrew. Goodbye, everybody that was watching.
Goodbye.
And I will see you on the other side, Andrew. Don't drop out.
I'm waving.
Okay. Awkward wave. Goodbye.